How's it going, everyone? Marriland here, and I'm back on the Hermitcraft Feed the Beast server. Oh, yeah. Man, I've got my new toys. Oh, yeah, I got them all upgraded and everything. They're enchanted. They're named Excadrill, Sawsbuck, and then Smooth Sylveon. Oh, yeah. I did go ahead and upgrade my old diamond drill. I actually made a new diamond drill from scratch, so I guess it's the same. Made a new one from scratch because this one is going in the quarry. That's right, we're finally going to start quarrying. But I did upgrade this one, actually another step. So to do that, all you need to do is just take the diamond drill, put 2 advanced circuits there, and then 3 overclocker upgrades. It makes it go much faster, but it consumes more power. I don't know, I just like it because it looks cool and blue. But this thing just, oh man, it just goes to town. I love it. Like this tree's got to go, right? Look at this thing. It's just being a tree right here. Watch how quickly it goes. Oh, one other thing with the saw, it actually does cut down the leaves and it preserves them, which is interesting. Oh man, it's pretty nice. Ta-da! Whoa, sheep. Suddenly attacking me. Okay, so I think we don't really have that much more to talk about. I'm basically recording this right after the last episode because I'm so excited. I want to get that quarry going. So let's go ahead and do that. What do you say? Don't think we need to wait around for much longer. So all we need to do is, well, actually, there's a lot you need to do. One thing you got to understand, the quarry has 2 separate recipes depending on what version you're playing. If you're playing with Greg Tech enabled like I am, and this is on Ultimate 1.12, so it's based off of Minecraft 1.47, just so there's no confusion. But yeah, this is the hard mode recipe, let's say. But there is an easier recipe that requires just like a diamond pick, and it doesn't require like the advanced circuit. So if you're playing on the harder mode, you can't just set up a quarry right away like a lot of you have been telling me to do. No, you have to do all this stuff. And each of these diamond gears, yeah, it takes a lot of gold, you have to just make all these gears and keep upgrading them. So you're going to need 7 gears in total. 4 of them will need to be gold or greater. All 7 will need to be iron or greater. And then you upgrade the 2 gold to the diamond gears. You need that advanced circuit and this diamond drill. This is the big stumbling point. You need that titanium plate in order to make it in this hard recipe. That is the big problem. That's why I spent all of last episode working on this bad boy, the Industrial Blast Furnace. So if you have not yet watched that episode and you're interested about the Industrial Blast Furnace, check that out because I'm not going to go into it right now. That being said, we do have everything we need in order to build that quarry. So let's just go ahead and do that. So 2 diamond gears on the bottom, 2 gold right there, iron, 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 advanced circuit, and then diamond drill there. Oh, the quarry. Oh man, this thing is powerful. Let me tell you, it is so powerful. But we're going to need a few other things in order to make it work. Not much, but just a few. You're going to need at least 3 of these things called landmarks. And you make those by taking sticks and then lapis. No, that's not it. Actually, I think it's redstone torches and then lapis, if I recall correctly. Oops, I made way too many. Well, okay, not way too many, but yeah, there you go. And that makes these landmarks. Well, that's fine. I'll make 5 because I always lose one, it seems. Okay, so these basically tell the shape you want the quarry to be in, and that's really handy. I would also advise bringing some levers with you because those activate the whatchamacallit, the things. And you only need 3, I think, so that's good. Okay, now here are the things you need to know about quarries. They will eat the world up, man. They just tear it apart. You can make a quarry up to 64 by 64 blocks, and that's a huge chunk of land. You know what? I got an idea. I'm going to fly around and find one of the quarries in the overworld, and I'll just kind of show you what happens. So I will see you in a sec. Okay, look what I found. I'm actually relatively close to spawn, but this is the remains of a big old quarry. I almost fell in here once, no joke. I was looking for something unrelated, and I'm like, oh wow, someone set up a quarry here. And it just, oh man, it's huge. Ooh, rubies. Don't mind if I do. I'm gonna scavenge. Alright, there we go. Hey, they're just sitting there. Alright, so yeah, this is what a quarry will end up doing to your world if you just let it go. And that's kind of ugly to do to the world. I mean, granted, this is in that really ugly looking wasteland biome, so I think it was almost doing it a favor, but it does make just a big mess. So it's really recommended you do all of your quarrying in a Mistcraft world, so that way it won't mess up the the overworld. That's never any fun if you're playing on a server. It's also a nice way to kind of keep things. Whoa, look at that squid. That guy's going nuts. It's because he's mad because you're quarrying. Yeah, so this is kind of what happens to the land in a quarry, but it will eat all of these blocks, and you'll basically get all of these blocks, and it requires quite a bit of power, obviously, and it takes quite a bit of time, and you're going to want to make sure you have a very good storage solution. Otherwise, yeah, it could be kind of problematic because you don't want to run out of storage. That's why I have deep storage units, and they are your best friend. Let me tell you, I have those deep storage units storing all of my cobblestone, all of my dirt, and I think sand and gravel too. So pretty much it's just the gems and things that'll add up. But I've got plenty of drives for that. Shouldn't be an issue. I'm done playing Vulture here. All right. Now that you've kind of seen just what a quarry can do, I think it's time we make our own. But we're going to make our own in our custom Mistcraft age, which is really good, particularly if you have some useful pages. So I'm going to head right on back to my base, and I will see you in a sec. Okay, so cool as the system as this is, I'm actually going to borrow some of the parts from it just to save some time. So this ender chest, it has the same color patterns as the other ender chests I'm using. So I'm going to take this with me. You could also use an item tesseract. That works pretty well. But I do find that the ender chest method worked just fine as long as you use 2 import buses. So I'm going to take that with me, and then I'm going to take this redstone energy cell to use sort of as a buffer. Hopefully I didn't get rid of all that. Yeah, all right, cool. And I'm going to take an energy tesseract as well as some of this. So none of these machines will have power. That's kind of a shame, but no big deal. I'll get over it. Okay, so we've got a power source. We've got a storage thingy, because we can hook the ender chest straight up to the quarry and it'll send everything into it. Now, before we start, let's see. You want to make sure you have a way to handle massive amounts of items. I'm doing this with, oh, this is the wrong door. I'm doing this with AE, which is my computer setup, but you could use barrels. You could use these things called void pipes to get rid of all of your cobblestone and stuff like that, maybe after it fills a barrel. But you just need to make sure you have everything hooked up properly. You could use like a bunch of chests, and then you could just put a lot of your larger items in barrels. I really recommend deep storage units. Again, if you're not familiar with those, I built those in an earlier episode. They're pretty cool. It just takes, well, not that much stuff. A bunch of ender pearls, but it's so worth it. They can hold up to 2 billion of an item. So they're very cool, and they are what I'm storing all of my cobblestone, dirt, sand, and gravel down here, and you can see they're just there. Now, I could void them, but really, there's no point. These store up to 2 billion, I think maybe even more, so really, it's not a concern. I'm not too worried. Okay, now, we need to make a nice old Mistcraft world. Actually, we need to borrow an import bus from something. Let's borrow it from here. Okay, so this ender chest is hooked up to this item tesseract, right? And this item tesseract is hooked up to my tree farm. So it's sending a lot of the stuff over there. I couldn't figure out how to get the item tesseract hooked up directly to the import bus. It wasn't working, so I use this as a buffer. It's no big deal because it's tied to my ender pouch. But anyway, this one's linked up to this, and that's nice. The only problem is when you're quarrying, it's going to generate a ton of stuff. So you really should use 2 import buses if you're trying to do this with ender chests. I find that 2 of these hooked up to stacks of items and just importing everything, it'll make sure that there's no overflow, and that's pretty great. I find that 1 kind of slows things down a bit, but the 2 seems to work pretty nice. I don't know. I did play around with that. Again, that was back in my single-player world, so hopefully it's still more or less correct. All right, I think we have everything we need to begin quarrying, so let's go ahead and make a really cool age for quarrying. So we're going to need some leather, we're going to need a transfer notebook, and we're going to need... Do I have enough pages in here? Yeah, that's plenty. Okay, so let's put a transfer notebook here. Again, if you haven't seen my Hermitcraft episode, I recommend checking that out, because that'll explain how to do stuff. Now, you can go ahead and pick a biome that you might be interested in quarrying on. It doesn't really matter which. If you're looking for a specific material, like if I wanted to get bauxite, oh, where does that spawn? I think that's in plains or forests or something like that. I think maybe forests, extreme hills. Extreme hills can be nice, but it brings you up so darn high, so that's not cool. Oh, I should probably have something for marble, too. You end up picking up a lot of marble. Maybe I'll just make a deep storage unit for that. Let's see. So, I mean, any of these would really work. Doesn't really matter which. If I wanted, like, I don't know, I could do, I guess something more plainsy. Alright, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go ahead and just craft everything up, and then I'll show you everything once it's done, okay? Alright, I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so I think I got everything set up here. I went with plains biome, single biome, so it'll only be plains. Then I have bright lighting, so it'll always be bright. I have it flat, which is awesome for a quarry age. I have no weather, don't have to worry about that. I have noon and 0 length, so the sky, or the sun will always be set to noon, which is awesome. Normal sun, dark moon, normal stars. Need all of our celestial stuff. Then for some extra stuff, I have glowstone crystals, because hey, some extra glowstone never hurts. And I'm doing some fun things with sky color and cloud color. Hopefully I have this right. Yellow, sky color, and then magenta, cloud color. And lastly, clear modifiers. So hopefully this works. I'm going to put the transfer notebook. Actually, let me put the leather here. And then the transfer notebook right there. And ta-da, we have everything. Let's make our descriptive book. Age, I don't know what age it is. Let's see, 230. Okay, wonderful. Now, again, we need to make sure we have a linking book to get back, because otherwise that'd be very bad, huh? So, linking book, all set. We can get right back here. And, you know what? I should probably get a book stand, huh? Yeah, I should do that. Do I have a book stand? I don't. Oh, well, they're really easy to craft. Okay, I just need sticks. Actually, it's 2 there, and then some planks. Derp. There we go. Nice. Oh, I should probably bring one for the road, shouldn't I? Yeah. Alright, so we're all set. Now, let's go ahead and... well, let's put that right here. And then we'll put this... oh, no, I dropped my bucket. Alright, we'll put this descriptive book there. And let's check out this world. Hopefully it ends up to be good. Let me double check. Yes, linking book set. Good. Let's go. Oh, look at that. That looks so silly. Yeah, looks like it worked. As you can see, we've got a nice little world with lots of sheep and a very bright sun. And I think I did set the cloud color, but I might have disabled clouds. They're kind of annoying. Let's see, where would that be? Clouds? Maybe all particles? Ah, who cares? They're just clouds, huh? Alright, I'm just gonna do... Oh, wait, maybe it's here? Clouds. Fancy. Whatever, we'll just do default. This is not really a big deal. I just want to get back on my particles. Let's do minimal, just because it seems to rain an awful lot. Okay, so here we go. Have all this set. I guess I can start right here. Doesn't really matter at this point what you do. Ooh, look at that. There's one of those barrows over there. Interesting. Let's check it out. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. How's it going, fella? Do I have some torches handy? Yes, I do. Alright, I'll just torch these up. Can always take these spawners later if I need them. Let's see what loot. Free steel. Free legs. Ooh, rubies. Bucket. Copper. And some books. It's kind of funny. Well, I'll take them. Why not? Alright, so that was a nice little distraction, but we need to start quarrying. Oh, I need that flour. Alright, let's go. Ooh. Ooh, wow, there's another thing. This is one of those, I don't even know what you call it, but these wisps, like, they start attacking you and going crazy if you go near. You know what? I'm going to send some of this stuff back to the base. Then we'll be able to have some room. Let's see, I'll do that. Book, paper, iron. Sure. Oh, look at all those wisps. Alright, so you can actually just hold space and pick everything up. That can be a lot of fun. I just don't care. These things don't zap me too hard. So I've got my armor. Man, look at all these trees. It's insane. Lakes? Anything really cool in here? I doubt it, but you never know. Oh my goodness, it cuts so fast. Oh, 0 length. That's cool. I already have it, but... Yeah, these darn trees are kind of all in my way, but it's really no big deal. So, at this point, you want to find a good little 64 by 64 area to carve out, essentially. And let's see, we have our start somewhere over here. Might as well kind of hang around the start point. And you can press F9, and this brings up these little chunk things. Now, ideally, you want to have everything set up on a chunk, because a full-size quarry is going to use 4 of... Wait, no, actually... Yeah, 4 that way, and then 4 that way. So if we put it, let's say, right here, we'd be in business, other than the fact we're going to be eating our start point for breakfast. No problem. Let's actually just kind of start it right here. So remember those landmarks we got? Let's play around with these. So you need to essentially define the radius that your quarry will be, and you use these landmarks to do that. Well, that's all fine and dandy. You could use this F9 thing as sort of a way to see what's up, or you could use levers with these landmarks. If you give the landmark redstone, or a redstone signal, it'll then send a beam in each direction up to 64 across. So I probably don't need this for right now. So what we want to do is we want to go 64 this way. And this beam will stop once it's reached the full 64 amount. So if we put our second landmark there, and then gave it power, it will then shoot all the way over here, which is nice. Now, you want 3 landmarks set up. You actually don't need 4, because 3 is actually enough to give it the size and the dimensions you need, because it'll be able to figure out where the 4th is. So let's go this direction instead and hook this right up here. Okay, so if we gave that power, we can see, oh yeah, they do meet up over there. But what if we don't give them power? Let's take this apart, and then let's go over here, because you're actually going to need to right-click them in order to actually say, this is the area I want to use. You can't just use this weird beam thing. So after you have at least 3 set up, go back to the one on the corner where there's one in that direction and one that direction. This is where I'll set the quarry up, and then right-click it, and you'll see a red beam now. Now, really quick, just verify and make sure that this red beam is in the area you want to designate as being a quarry zone. So this is correct. We have one right there. This one doesn't have a landmark, but that's just fine. And then we have that one there, and then that there. So this is a 64 by 64 area. If we press F9 really quick, we can see it's right on the border of that chunk. Very cool. It's all contained within several chunks here. Nice, nice. Okay, so I think what we need to do now is just place the quarry. Now, this is extremely important when you're placing the quarry, okay? Whatever you do, don't place the quarry in the red line. If you do, it will destroy the quarry when everything is done. You want to place the quarry here or here, somewhere adjacent to the landmark, but outside of the red line. Otherwise, it will destroy your quarry. Also, don't set anything up inside of where this area will be. Otherwise, it will be destroyed. So we're going to set it right here, and boom. And it actually functions as a chunk loader. Now, I always go and pick up my landmarks, but sometimes I end up forgetting. That's never any fun. Now, it's not going to start doing anything until you give it some power, so don't worry. But make sure you remember kind of where that radius was, because you don't want to set up your stuff right here now, do ya? Okay, so speaking of that power, why did I bring the redstone cell thing? I did that sort of as a buffer to make sure that it's not going to send too much power in. And I think I can set that there. Yeah, there we go. And then this energy tesseract here, let's set it up to receive power only. And now this is going to have a maximum input of, I think it doesn't even function on more than 40 or so. I'm making so much it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to have it output no more than, actually we can do 50. That should be fine. Output no more than 50 MJ per tick. And with a little setup like this, you're all set. Now, really important, this thing is going to start building, but you want to make sure you have either pipes going up through the top here that connect to a bunch of barrels or deep storage units if you don't have an AE system, or you want to put like an item tesseract or an ender chest on top of it. So then all of the items will go into it. Otherwise, they're going to spit all over the place, and it gets really annoying. So we're just going to do that, and in a little bit, we're going to see this thing start to do some stuff. So let's do a nice little time lapse here. I'm going to hide the hood, heads-up display, and we're just going to watch. So yeah, let's see this thing go. It's about to wrap up. Look at it. It's built this little frame thing here. And, yeah, once that connects, it should begin. There we go. Oh, man. Here we go. There it is. This little laser thingy, that is just ripping apart the land, and that is sending all the blocks into this quarry. If we look in here, we can see this ender chest is going to town. It is just sending dirt left and right into my AE network back at home. Look at it go. That is so cool. Yeah, sorry sheep, you might have a fun time. Now, if you're quarrying in the overworld, an effective tactic can sometimes be to put some buckets of water right on all of the corners. Because if this runs into any lava, it will not, it'll, like, not break anything beneath the lava, so it can kind of slow down your quarrying and not give you the full amount. Not a problem if you're making a custom Mistcraft age, because lava shouldn't spawn unless you tell it to make like caves or lava lakes or something, so we should be good. Alright, look at it go. Now, it uses basically, I don't know if it's up to 50 or what, but I know around 30 MJ per tick is enough for it to go pretty darn fast. After that point, the power increase isn't quite as noticeable. You can run it on a lot less, too, but, really, why bother? I mean, you know, I guess that's kind of cold sounding. If you don't have as much of a power setup going, you can still run a quarry. But you're going to have storage troubles, of course, and you need, obviously, to have 120 ADU per tick if you're playing with the harder recipe, as I am. So, keep that in mind. But yeah, this is just going to kind of do its thing. Now, I think it'll stay loaded pretty much no matter what, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put my book stand here and go back to the overworld just to see how my AE system's handling. Okay, so let's go on over here. And as we can see, let's take a look at dirt. Yeah, it's just taken a whole ton of dirt into the system. Very nice. Now, as long as you have your bulk being deposited into these deep storage units, several 4K drives should be enough. You could upgrade to 16Ks if you want, or if you're doing a lot of quarrying, but I think you'd be okay as long as you're depositing bulk stuff. You should be all right. And that's kind of the case here. Now, I might want to put maybe marble in here, because I know you can run into pretty big marble pockets, but again, you know, I've stored like 10,000 redstone, all this stuff, and I still have 4 totally blank drives, so we should be pretty good. Okay, so yeah, the quarry is going. Oh my goodness. And now it's just a waiting game, actually. Why am I going to the nether? I want to go to my custom world. Here we go, age 230. Yeah, look at it go. Yeah, and it's basically a waiting game from here. It's going to take several hours for it to do. A lot of it depends on what your Y level is. Apparently, I'm at Y level 90, so I'm going to end up with a ton of dirt. I'm not opposed to that, because if I get into doing any of the forestry multi-farms, I know I need a lot of dirt for that if I wanted to do those tree farms. Well, it's not the most efficient thing. I don't know. Maybe this isn't the perfect quarry age for me, but it'll get the job done. I can always void dirt after a certain point, or I can always use it for some other stuff. But yeah, right now I'm just going to let it run and do its thing for a few hours, and I'll check back on it in a little bit. What do you say? Alright, I'm going to go back to the overworld though, just in case. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so I went ahead and let a bit of time pass. It actually ended up taking quite a bit, but let's take a look. I waited actually a little more than a day or so, and it's still going for some reason, which is interesting. It's almost making me think maybe the chunks or something aren't loading properly, because actually, let's see. Huh, that's weird. It almost seems like it's not right, but yeah, anyway, look at all this. It has dug out. That is insane. You know what, really quick here. Sometimes it's nice to go and scavenge some of this stuff while it's digging. That can get you some extra things like rubies. I've been doing that periodically as it's been mining, and it's effective. Let's get some of this. Hey, I hear you, slime and slime. Get away from me. Alright, let me get these rubies really quick. Yeah, so it looks like it's done a pretty good job. For some reason, it hasn't finished, which is interesting, because I actually started this a few days ago. That's why it's actually been a few days since, well, since I said I'll be right back or whatever. Or I'll see you in a bit. It's actually been, well, quite a bit. But that's fine. Quarries are nice because you can just kind of leave them run in the background. Now, I know on my single-player world, when I did quarrying, I needed like a chunk loader to keep things loaded even while I had the quarry set up. And that's interesting because the quarry up there should count as a chunk loader. So I don't know what's up. But anyway, it's going pretty darn fast. So that's cool. That is pretty cool. Look at all these gems. Alright, ooh, yeah. Okay, I think I've done that enough. Let's go up to the top here. And, oh, what do we have here? We have a little smiley face. No, I didn't do that. I don't know who did that. I have a feeling it's either Hypno or DMAC. I know I showed both of them this world here. And, you know, just in case it was lagging or something and they needed to turn it off. I like this. This is awesome. Props to whoever did it. It's actually really nice that they went ahead and silk touched it up here. Although in really a funny way, because you get more if you use like Fortune, or if you, well, you definitely want to silk touch the uranium, because you get double uranium that way. Alright, I'm taking this down. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I should really just leave it here, but I want it all. I want the stuff. Yep. Oh, man. But let's take a look at how much stuff it's actually gotten. Really quick here. Let me slow down. So we're at 36. We still have a ways to go before it's even hit everything. And interestingly, there's a whole bunch of slimes sliming around. So I don't know what that's all about. But we might be able to do something kind of fun with that. With all them slimes. Ooh, let me get that uranium. Pretty good stuff to get. Yeah, I can make my own slime farm or something. That'd be kind of nice. Figure out where they're at and, you know, do something with it. Okay, so let's go back to the base and see just how much stuff this has gathered. I did a little bit of adjusting of things since last time. But let's see. Okay, so we're at 152,000 cobblestone. We're at 10,000 redstone. We're at, like, a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even remember where I got that stone. Weird. Okay, 25,000 dirt, 25,000 sand. And there's a reason for this, actually. I didn't mine the sand, but I was doing the rotary macerator on the sand. And I also had my process set up so it would automatically turn all of my ores that I'm getting. It would send it through the rotary macerator, convert them into the dust, and then send that into, like, I don't know, the induction furnace or something. So you can see it's making iron ingots right now. I figured that'd be nice. Good ore processing. So we got a ton of copper, a ton of tin. Got some silver, some... I think I'm doing lead. Let's see. We got gold up there. A whole ton of iron, really. Haven't gotten any more diamonds from that yet, but we're only at layer 36. So that would explain it. I don't know if we've gotten much in the way of marble. That seems kind of low. But yeah, so pretty darn cool, actually. Oh, look at all that gravel. Got some of these bees. I went and made some chrome dust. Oh, look, we got an iridium mined up. That's nice. Very nice. That's different from the iridium ore we picked up earlier, which is cool. Let's see. What other kind of fun stuff? I guess we could just do sort by number of items. Let's see what we have the most of. Oh, I have a whole ton of this bauxite dust. Probably got some more glowstone, too. Oh, and all these crystals. Got a whole ton of the zirconium quartz. Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice. Yeah, so what have I done kind of since then? I mean, here's a look at all this. I have it all set up through ME, which is pretty nice. I have all this stuff here. I think that was there. But it's just kind of going. We're up to, what was it, like 90,000 charcoal? So that's... yeah, 92,000 charcoal, so that's pretty reassuring. Definitely gaining out of this. But I have noticed it's using up a lot of steam now and a lot of power because all this, the quarrying is just, oh man, it's taking up a whole ton of that MJ power. So one thing that I actually could do, I don't think I'm going to do it for this quarry, but just for optimization and stuff, I have all of that going through an energy tesseract. In fact, we can even see that down here. Maybe it's this thing right there. See, it's going into an energy tesseract, and it's just my standard Weasel Power one. If I wanted to be really efficient, what I could do is, instead of sending it through an energy tesseract, I could send it through a liquid tesseract. Actually send the steam through a liquid tesseract, and then have a power converter set up on the other side to convert the steam into Buildcraft power. So that way, I would actually get more power out of it. Because there's this 25% tax when you use these energy tesseracts. It takes away 25% of the power. So very nice for portability, but if you're looking for efficiency, you know, you should really look elsewhere. I, however, didn't really care because, you know, I have more power than I know what to do with. In fact, before I started quarrying, it's like, seriously, I need things to use this power on. That efficiency was really the least of my concerns. I mean, this is full of 10 million. These are all full of 600,000. I think I'm good. I did go ahead and make some... Oh, what did I make? Let's see. I made some chrome dust, actually. 19 chrome. And I did that by... actually, I made even more. I ground up some rubies, turned it into dust, and just ran it through this electrolyzer here. So that's pretty cool. Let's actually take some more rubies. Wait, do I have any ruby dust? Oh, I think it might be sitting inside of this ender chest that isn't hooked up. Oh, I just did coal dust. That's fine. Now, at this point, grinding rubies is probably a good idea because... Oh, wait. Wrong one. Here we go. Because you're going to need a lot of chrome for a lot of the late game stuff. And really, all those ruby tools, you know, you used to make maybe back in the day, yeah, they're not really as useful anymore. So don't worry about it. You can definitely start grinding and getting the chrome dust. That's really what you need. And you do that by electrolyzing 9 rubies, or ruby dust, into, what is it? I think 1 chrome. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you get 1 chrome, a whole bunch of the aluminium, and some compressed air cells. So it's not terrible, but, you know. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put all this in the blast furnace to get some chrome going. And then there's one more thing I want to make that I think would be pretty nifty. Let's make that centrifuge. So, we're going to need... Okay, so there's actually 2 different types of centrifuges. Well, 3 if you count this weird block. That's like an old one. There's this centrifuge, which is not the one you want. This is something totally different, and this is from forestry. That's basically what you use to get a whole bunch of stuff like, well, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you use that in forestry. And then there's this industrial centrifuge. Now, this requires an extractor, as well as several different things you could put here, but you're probably going to want to use the advanced machine blocks. And then either some refined iron plates or some aluminium. So it's not that bad in the big picture of things. So let me go ahead and make that really quick. And I will see you in a sec. All right. Take a look at that. We got the industrial centrifuge. Okay, so we're going to make that. And then we're going to hook it up. So let's get some cable. And let's see. This uses 32 EU per tick. So we need to run it off of low voltage. So we should not hook it up to this one because this is medium voltage. It's coming out of the MFE. So we can hook it up over here. Now the problem is these things are really goodness slow. They're like super slow. So you'll have to throw in overclockers if you want them to go any sort of fast. Let's go ahead and I could put this anywhere. I'm just going to put it here for now, just because it's obnoxious to have to move everything. All right there. Industrial centrifuge. All right, so this thing's kind of interesting. It works a little weird because you put something in here and then it spits out 4 different results. So I guess in a way, it's kind of similar to the electrolyzer, but it's more like an electrolyzer in reverse. You can put in 16 lava cans, or I think you can put in a source block of lava, and this is something I want to have going in the background. You put in lava in, I think it's this spot here. If you plugged lava into it. Put that there, and then it will start making all sorts of stuff from that. You get an electrum ingot, 4 copper ingots, and 6 tin, as well as a tiny pile of tungsten dust. There's 100 recipes, though, so I don't know if I'm going to go through all of these. Some of the more useful ones, let's see. You can get like methane out of apples and things, and that can be used in a gas turbine or a liquid-fueled fuel box. Pretty effective. Let's just scroll through here. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, yeah, so sticky resin. This can be a nice way to get a lot of rubber out of your sticky resin, as well as a few other byproducts. Not that bad. Let's see. So centrifuging some soul sand will get you coal dust and saltpeter dust, as well as oil. So that can be handy. I don't know if soul sand can run through the cheaty book or not. Lava cell. Wow, this... What makes this lava cell so different than the other? This gives a ton of tin. Oh, here we go. This is the lava still, and I think this is what you can pump in to it. So, yeah, that's pretty good. 4 copper for free, 2 tin for free, electrum for free. Takes some time, takes some EU, but really my system's not doing much of anything. So it's no problem. Okay, so yeah, you can see different recipes here. Oh, rubber wood. It's kind of nice. A lot of it, like for copper, that gets you some gold and some nickel, which is interesting. I don't know. There's a lot to this, really. Trying to think of some of the more interesting recipes. Ferrous metal. No, that's not it. Oh, this is a very important one. So, pulverized shiny metal, which you get from pulverizing something. I think it's ferrous ore. That gets you an iridium nugget. Or you can do... Where is it? Oh, what do we get here? This is an interesting one. So you can centrifuge a lapis to get lazurite, pyrite, calcite, and sodalite. So you get some interesting things out of it. Sort of some byproducts. Redstone. This is another way to get ruby dust. And if you're trying to get a ton of ruby dust, which you'll need to then electrolyze to get the chrome, you could use redstone to do that. So if you get like a witch farm or something going, that's a good way to get a lot of silicon, a lot of mercury, and the ruby dust is really what's important. Glowstone. Oh, wow. You can get some redstone and glowstone out of... Or redstone and gold out of glowstone. And helium. That's interesting. I wonder if there's any good ways to get a ton of that. Let's see. Netherrack dust. Nothing too interesting there. Endstone dust. That's one of the things you can use that cheaty book on to get the endstone, grind it up, and then get helium and helium-3, which you use in things. You can get uranium cells from centrifuging the uranium dust, but unless you're doing nuclear reactors, you probably don't need that. Platinum dust. Okay, so this is the other really important thing. This is one of the main ways you get iridium, by centrifuging platinum dust. And you know what? There's probably some other recipes here. I don't see anything too amazing. Oh yeah, this is more nuclear fusion stuff. Hydrogen to get the deuterium. Deuterium to get the tritium. And helium to get helium-3, huh? Can extract mercury cells. Anyway, I'm going off track here. So, where was I going? Alright, so the platinum dust, right? That's the stuff you're going to need if you want to get iridium. Or at least a fair amount of it. And you can basically take ferrous ore, and you have a 10% chance of getting it in a pulverizer. Then you also can get it in an industrial grinder if you use this mercury cell. That gets you a pile of the platinum dust. Otherwise, you're going to have to use, what is it? If you don't use the mercury cell, in the industrial grinder, you only get a tiny pile of it, which is still better than the pulverizer, but this is what you should be using your ferrous ore on. That plus the mercury cells get you the tiny pile of platinum, and then 9 of those, well, 9 of the platinum, actually, that plus the mercury cell gets you the full pile of platinum. Then, if you use that in the centrifuge, that will get you, whatchamacallit, I can't even think of what it is, the iridium nugget, and 9 of those will get you an iridium, which is pretty cool. In fact, I happen to have quite a few ferrous ore. 178. So if we made that blast furnace, we would be in business. I don't think I'm going to do that yet, though. I think that'll be something I'll save for later. But one thing I do want to get going before we wrap this episode up, I want to get some lava and centrifuge some lava. Now, I could pump lava from the nether, but you already know my stance on that. So I think I'm going to do a more clever way of doing it. There's actually two ways I can get an unlimited amount of lava to power this industrial centrifuge. The first way is use a magma crucible. Yeah, I can just take a magma crucible and take a bunch of netherrack and turn it into lava. It'll take 12,000 MJ to do that, but that's not really a problem. I'm not trying to get energy out of this. I'm just burning extra power that I'm not really using, because really I need to do that. Or I could take any of that cobblestone I have, and it'll take 24,000 MJ, but it'll give me a bucket of lava. So, you know, it ends up producing some stuff. It's not exactly the most power-conscious thing in the world, but it's not really the end of the world either. Because, you know, I don't really have that much I'm doing with this power, so yeah, let's go ahead and actually, you know what? I'm going to have to, like, get an export bus. I'm going to have to do all sorts of stuff. So I don't really know if I want to bother with it. I really don't. So I might just leave it alone. But I might get it set up for next episode, because I think that'd be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put some ruby dust in this electrolyzer, though. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, get some stuff. There's this other thing called a lava fabricator. And you can use this to make lava as well. It's one of those Mine Factory Reloaded things. And I don't know if it works any more or less effective. I think it's actually less effective, but it doesn't require cobblestone or anything to use. So that's kind of nice. Also, with some of that extra power, I could make an oil fabricator, which is this thing right here. And that'll just make oil for MJ or EU, which is kind of nice, I'm not going to lie. Gets you some extra oil if you're not really using all of your power. And I'm not. I mean, I've got tons of power, and it's being generated in pretty much an unlimited fashion. Yeah, so quarrying's going good. Let's take one more look at the quarry world before we wrap things up. Doesn't look like it's going to finish by the time this episode is over. And I kid you not, a fly just landed on my monitor while I'm recording. That's crazy. He wants my ruby dust. What's my ruby dust? What a jerk fly. Alright, so where are we at now? We're at 34. Yeah, I still have a ways to go. Alright, so let me get these rubies. Ooh, more uranium. Hey, stop sliming. Stop sliming, you! Alright, well, hope you enjoyed. Hope this was kind of entertaining. I feel great now that I have the quarry running. That is pretty darn awesome. Anyway, I'm going to get some stuff from this quarry. Gonna, I don't know, poke around a bit with that lava thing. Centrifuge. Maybe try to get some stuff from that. And I will see you on the next episode of Marriland's Hermitcraft Feed the Beast Adventure. See you next time, quarries. Woo! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Woo!